Okay, good morning, good evening, and good noon to all traders. Welcome to my daily broadcast. In this broadcast, we will be discussing the global trading room, and as usual, we are going to take some of my uh, markets that I usually trade on a day-to-day basis globally. So these are FX, oil, silver, uranium, and crypto. So in today's update as well, I have moved and exit some of my trades, and we will discuss that later. So again, this is actually not an advice to just blindly buy and sell just based on what you ever see on the assets that I will be discussing here, but I'd like you to do your own due diligence because, as we all know, trading the global market, especially in the FX stocks and high risk assets, are very risky. And uh, the best that you can do is to learn first the ins and outs on how this works, practice. In a demo account if you should, and I advise it to do so because it will keep your skill sharp, and it will keep you out of doubt when the market is in chaos. This means that you will no longer need an opinion on social media or to anyone that you usually ask for advice on what to do with your position. That's the advantage of it because trading is usually being played by yourself alone to gain the advantage without the help of others. Of course, the others can give you an opinion and you can learn from how to trade. Just like when you are watching this broadcast, you can learn on how to trade, what tools I am using, what are the market structure that I am using for my reference before I enter and exit on a trade. So by that, again, welcome to RAFX Global Trading Room session for today. So in our first agenda, we will look into the um, DXY or the dollar index. So for dollar index, our dollar index is still in a downtrend because the price is obviously in the below our 200 baseline, and starting from March 9, it was unable to hit the 200 baseline, and it started to decline again. So I think this would be a good reference for all of you that is trading the majors, wherein your first reference is the US dollar. So one thing that we also look for on a daily basis is the VIX or the VIX index. This is what I use for exposure on the uh, percentage of the risk that I usually expose on a single trade. So currently, the value of VIX index is 6.49. So this means that we should not uh, risk our 2% exposure. Instead, we can use 1% of it. So what is the good number here to expose our complete 2%? The number on VIX should be at least 7. So that's our magic number. And once we have that number, then we can raise our risk exposure into a complete So why this is important? Because if the VIX or the EBC index eh, is above that number or equal to 7, you would know that there will be a good volume for us forex traders to position or expose our risk. So how did I learn that? Because I am a follower of No Nonsense Forex Trading by Patrick Victor or VP. So once we have that, the next thing to do is to check our calendar or the economic calendar. I am using my FX apps here to check if we do have a high impact news today, which is Friday. So today is Friday, and for Euro, we have harmonized index of consumer, net change in employment, and then unemployment rate for Canada. So we do have, so in this list of major impact list, I am concerned with the CAD unemployment rate. So meaning the consensus is above the previous number. The previous number is 9.4%, which is the current consensus is 9.2. There is a probability that if the consensus is correct, then this is a good signal for, or this is bullish for the Canadian dollars. That means that if you are long in CAD, then this is bullish for you. But if you are short, this may be a good sign to reassess your position or your current position in your CAD pair. Okay, so let's start by checking our current FX position. So earlier today, um, some of my positions 1 hour target has been hit. So usually when that happens, I exit the first half of my position and then move my stop loss. So AUD is actually, I think this is from yesterday, but today I exited NCD JPY and CHF JPY. Those pairs hit by the 1 hour risk reward ratio. So let's check first AUD JPY. So since this is still in an uptrend, meaning my position here should stay or hold because I don't see any reason yet to exit my position. What I did yesterday is move my stop from into this level. So meaning, although I still have this position, I will not, or I will never lose this trade anymore because the stop loss that I have currently is above my entry point. And also I already bagged my first trance, which is 1 hour risk reward ratio. So my next position to discuss is NCD-JPY, and this is the one pair that I said earlier that I already exited my first half, wherein it reached the 78.536 price earlier. So I need to get out of the trade for my first trance and move my stop into this position. So meaning, what if something happens within the trading session in NCD-JPY and hit my stop loss, I already bagged my first trance and I will never lose any money on this trade for this session. So in addition, for NCD-JPY, um, the trade or the trend is still up and my indicators still telling me that I should hold this position because the trade is or the trend is still intact. because the price is above 50 baseline. The buy stop is still good, and for confirmation, we're still looking oversold in the confirmation. But in contrast to that, our confirmation 2 is still in the buy zone. So unless these signals deteriorate, then that's the time that we need to exit. So remember, we are, or I am, a trend follower, wherein I should always follow the trend and exit only if my indicators tell me to exit. Okay, so next is CHF JPY. So CHF JPY is the second position that I exited today on my first trance, because it also hit my 117.537 price target. And then I moved the stop loss in here so that I will not lose any money in this position. So in terms of, do I need to exit on this trade? So obviously I still need to hold, because the trend is still up and the indicators is still good for me. The trend follower indicator is good because the price is still above the baseline. And for RAFX confirmation 1, we just have see the long signal or the buy signal, which is this one here, and the confirmation 2 is still above the upper or the buy uh, zone. So this is still good for me to hold the position. So my next position is the NCD CHF. So for NCD CHF, the two tranches is still intact, and the price is still far away from my 1R risk reward. But do I need to exit in this trade? So the chart is telling me to hold, because the price is still up or above this baseline. And although the confirmation one is trying to move lower, I think this would be a healthy correction. But if you notice, the confirmation two is still in the buy zone. So we are still good, right? My position is still good to hold until this signal here tells me to exit. The next one is GBP CAD. So GBP CAD, so this is one of my trade position that is on a red in my portfolio, because as you can see, my the current price is below my entry price, so meaning this trade is losing. But should I close the trade? I shouldn't, because the price is still above that base 50 baseline, supported by the buy stop. And even though we see that there is a sell signal here, but this may recover, and also confirmation 2 is still on the buy zone. So until the price closes below the 50 baseline and confirmation 2 is in the sell zone, then I will exit on this position. So next is Euro AUD. So in Euro AUD, let's see. The two trends that I have is still intact, and I am still in profit for this position because I am short and the price is below my entry price. So again, the next thing to decide is, do I need to exit or not? So obviously I should stay on the trade, because the indicator is telling me that there's still a probability that the selling pressure for this pair will prevail. The reason of it is the price is still way below the 50 baseline, supported by that um, sell stop here, that channel that is our sell stop, and the confirmation is also had this sell sign, and the confirmation 2 is also in the sell zone. So by that indicators, I should stay on the trade. So next is the gold. So gold, I already exit my position on oil because um, it seems to me that it's very heavy moving to this level, and as you can see, the confirmation 2 is also heading on this upper limit, which is the overbought session. So I think that there is a probability that this will go down for a good correction and check if this baseline will hold, and then if that happens, then we need to re-enter. So that is for oil. But again, if you are trading this commodity, that's my same advice, is to wait for the price to go back to this baseline as your market structure. And once you have here, then we will check the 1 hour for possible entry trigger. Okay, our next chart is my silver position. So my silver position is still good. Remember that my silver is one of my commodity, which is I plan to hold it in a longer period because based on this silver story, it will move up in the next 2 to 5 years. So this is a good hedge for my capital to just stay on this position. So if I am a trader for this, my trade opportunity should be, I should look for a long position, but I will wait for the price to get back above the 50 baseline first before I go to the 1 hour position for good entry trigger. But for now, if I am going to trade this, I will just wait. So the next is BHP and CCJ. So BHP and CCJ is my uranium exposure. Same with silver. I am planning to stay or get stay invested in this equity because I believe in the story of nuclear energy to go back into their uh, all-time high, which will give an advantage or a profit for equity that is more focused on uranium. So BHP is listed in the ASX and CCJ is listed in the US stock exchange. But if I am going to trade BHP, I am going to look for long opportunity because the trend is still up and the price is now above the 50 baseline. So once I have that, I will check again for 1 hour time frame if there is a good opportunity or a buy or a entry trigger in there. So next is CCJ. So CCJ is also a uranium, and I'm still since it is uranium, I am planning to stay on invested in it. And checking on the chart, it is still an uptrend, because the price is above that two major baseline, and the stop buy stop is still good, and this two here still good because it's in the this level still, or the buy zone, and this one here is still in the buy zone as well. So we are still, or I am still good to hold this one. But again, I am not trading this for a mid or for a short to mid term, but I am planning to stay on this in the longer term. So let's see my my mini Bitcoin position. I actually exited my mini Bitcoin position yesterday in this area, about this area yesterday. So because that was the double top that I see, this one and this one. So there's a probability that it will go down, but if it does not go down, then I'm good because I already bagged a good profit for my mini Bitcoin. So my next opportunity would be to wait for the price to go back to that market structure, because I still believe that Bitcoin is in an uptrend. So same with its main, which is the Bitcoin itself. I also have a position here. I stay. I just hold that position, and yeah, just hold this position because the price is still in an uptrend. So this my position in this Bitcoin is in another broker. So that's my take on BTC USD. So since I don't have any uh, position, oh, I forgot. I also have XRP as well. So for XRP, I'm still going to hold that because the 50 baseline is also good. So yeah, I think I still need to hold this one. Although my XRP position is trade position is in a currently it is losing because it's below my entry line, but I need to hold it because the baseline is still holding. For my Litecoin, I'm still in profit. Yeah, that's a good one, and I still hold. I will be I will stay on this trade because the price is above the baseline, and the two confirmations that I have is still good because they it has a buy signal here, and it's still also on the buy zone here. So I am still good in here. So for gold, I am just monitoring these guys for gold, but I don't see any reason to enter in here yet because they are still on the downtrend. See, the price is still in way below the 200 baseline. So that's how I manage my trades on a daily basis. Sometimes I check it on an hour. I mean, in every 4 hour interval, I check them. But yeah, I think that's the reason. One of the advantage of trading the higher time frame and then having a corporate job is you don't have to get yourself faced or in front of your chart, because the decision should be made on a daily basis on or in an hourly basis. So yeah, I think if I still, or if time comes that I don't have a daily job anymore, then I still use the 4 and daily time frame because it fits my personality, and there is a lot of advantage versus trading the 15-minute time frame. But again, that is just for me. So again, many different either different strategy, different time frame. The important thing is, does it fit your personality and does it give you an edge? So those are the consideration that you need to take. So now let's start checking all the forex pairs that I am trading, and my overview here is we are going to uh, take on if I don't have any trades. So we will look into chart and we will check if there is an opportunity for the pair. So let's start with AUD CAD. So AUD CAD is first we need to check the trend. It is still in an uptrend because the price is uh, above the baseline and it already recovered since here. So the next thing to do is if I am going to trade this, I will look for the entry trigger in the 1 hour time frame. So in 1 hour time frame, um, I will avoid this trade for now because the trend follower indicator is in a selling pressure while the confirmation and the confirmation 2 is also heading towards to the selling areas as well. So until these indicators here improve on the long side and give us the complete entry trigger, then I will going to trade this. So AUDCHF is uptrend, but I will skip it because the price is already too far from our 50 baseline. For AUDJPY, the same. Although it's uptrend, I am looking for a long opportunity, but I will not uh, enter now because the price is too far from the market structure, which is again the 50 baseline. Next is AUD NCD. So this one is the one I entered a new position today. So let me check if it's true. Okay. So AUD NCD I entered earlier today because I believe the trend will continue. There's a probability that it will continue because we have the baseline here now and the price is above the 200 and also the 50 baseline already crossed the 200 baseline, and you see that long signal there, the green dot. So it means that that's a good sign as well, or that's one of the binary checking that I do if I need to enter into a trade. And also confirmation 2 is in a buy zone already, and the green and red line or the RSI and the signal is above the market sentiment. So when I check the 1 hour earlier today, of course, it is a good signal as well because the buy stop is good. The confirmation is in this zone, and the confirmation 2 is already above in the buy zone. So that's why I entered into AUD NCD. Okay. So next is CAD CHF. It is in an uptrend, but I will skip this one because the price is too far from my baseline, which is this one. So I need to wait for this price to at least move closer to that baseline before we uh, look for a long trade opportunity. So CAD JPY is the same. The price is too far from the baseline, so we will skip it. CHF JPY. So CHF JPY is again one of my position, but if I am a new trader looking for opportunity, so this is still a good consideration to get into the trade because the price is not too far from the baseline, just above it. So if I will look into the 1 hour to check for entry trigger, it is a good one because the buy stop is here, the price is above the baseline, and we have a good zone in the confirmation 1, and the confirmation 2 is also out in the buy zone. So I will uh, buy this or enter in this and then set my stop loss in the 4 hour time frame. So my stop loss for this is in here. If I am a new trader or I will enter into this trade, so I will put my stop loss just below this buy stop and calculate my risk using the stop loss and my entry price. Okay, so next is Euro AUD. For Euro AUD, it's still in a downtrend, but I will skip it because it is far from the baseline. Next is Euro CAD. I will also skip it, although it is in a downtrend and possibly there is a short opportunity, but it's still far from the baseline, which is this red line here. Next is Euro CHF. So for Euro CHF, it is still in an uptrend, but the price is above or too far from the baseline, so we will skip this one as well. So for Euro GBP, the same. It is in the downtrend, but the price is too far from the baseline. Euro JPY, the same. It's still in an uptrend. The uptrend is still intact, but I will not enter into a trade because the price is too far from my baseline. So Euro NCD, it's still on the baseline, but I will still wait for a few days for this price to get closer into that baseline as well. GBP CAD is a good one to look for a buying opportunity because it still started its uptrend and the price is just close enough in the baseline, so this is a good entry. So good opportunity to long, but your entry trigger is in the 1 hour time frame. If I see a long stop here, which is just like this one, and supported by a new buy signal here, and then this one here, the confirmation should be in the buy zone, then that is my entry trigger. And then once my entry trigger is confirmed, I will set my stop loss in this area, so below this low, so somewhere in here. So that would be my um, stop loss. But as you can see, our 1 hour time frame is not yet complete for our entry trigger. So next is GBP-CHF. So it's still in the uptrend, but the price is too far from the baseline, so I will skip this one as well. GBP-JPY is the same. It's too far, although it is in an uptrend because the price is above on those two baseline, the 50 and the 200. but I will not enter into this until the price is close enough into this. GBP AUD. So GBP AUD is in a downtrend because currently the price is uh, below the 200 baseline. So actually I entered this one earlier today. So see, okay. So my stop loss is in there, and the reason I entered is earlier the price is below the 50 baseline, supported by the sell stop, and also confirmation is below this zone, and the confirmation 2 is also in the sell zone. So that's why I entered, or I entered my uh, position. And then where did I put my stop loss? So that is my uh, sell stop. So just above it, that is my uh, what you call this one? Stop loss position. Okay. So let's see in the coming days if my stop loss will get hit, or the signal, or for this the sign will will tell me to exit. So as you can see, aside from the price being below the 200 baseline, I have this sell signal here, and the confirmation is trying also to move. Yeah, so if this will continue in here to go into that sell zone, then that is a good sign that I need to proceed or hold my position. Okay, so again, my reason of entry is uh, it was unable to break the 200 baseline. So uh, the trend is in a downtrend, and the price is just below my baseline. So yeah, I still, there's a probability that it will go a little or further based on our strategy in trading. But of course will that is not a 100%, but in order to manage your risk, that's the reason why you put your stop loss there with a percentage calculation that based on what you can take for your risk tolerance. GBP and CD. So GBP and CD is still started the uptrend, but I should wait, or I will wait until this 200, I mean 50 baseline will cross that 200, then I will try to look for a buying opportunity. So NCD CAD is in an uptrend, but I think I still wait. I am looking for a buying opportunity here, but based on the candle, it is trying to go again lower, and maybe it will try to test the 200 baseline. But in the long term, uh, or the trend is still in an uptrend. So next is NCDCHF. So NCDCHF is still in an uptrend, but I will avoid this trade because the price is already way too far from my baseline. So NCDJPY still in an uptrend, but the price is too far from the baseline or from the market structure, so I will skip this one as well. So NCDUSD, it's still in an uptrend, but I will not take this trade until the price is above that baseline. The reason is since it break down this 50 baseline, there is a probability that it will go uh, below or test this one, this 200 baseline. Euro USD. Okay, so Euro USD is trying to recover since it tested the 200 baseline, and again the trend is still an uptrend. So there's a probability that this uh, price will continue to go up. So if I am going to trade this, I will say that yes, I will take this trade because this one here is a sign that it is in a recovery phase. But my entry trigger should be in the 1 hour time frame, and for the time being, I will avoid that because the price in the trend follower indicator um, just shown this sell stop. So if this will be confirmed after 30 after this time, then I will wait until it improves. And I also noticed that the confirmation one is heading downward, and the confirmation two is on a sell signal because the RSI here just crossed the market sentiment. So until those signals improve, then I will just wait for Euro USD. Next is GBP USD. So GBP USD is still, I think, in the uptrend, and it just showed earlier today the uh, buy stop signal in our trend follower. And since it is uh, far from, I think it's not too far, right? And it is recovering. So if I am going to trade this one, I will consult my 1 hour time frame, and it looks good to me. But on the trend follower, but my confirmation is not good because it's still heading downwards, and the confirmation 2 is also in a sell signal. So meaning, even though it gives me a trading or a long opportunity in here, but my 1 hour time frame doesn't allow me to enter into this trade. So for AUD USD, the same, and as in the first glance, at the first glance, the opportunity is long because as you notice, the price is just above the baseline. It's closer in our structure. So let's consult our 1 hour time frame, and it's good, but it is not good enough to enter because the two, this one is still trying to sell, and also this signal is in a sell signal, so I am not going to enter in here. So if this two will improve, then I will take the trade. Okay, so USDCHF is an uptrend, but the 50 baseline is still below. We should wait this to cross that baseline so that there's a high probability that the uptrend will continue. But for now, we'll just wait on the sideline and monitor it in a daily basis. So same with USD JPY, it is in an uptrend, but almost the 50 baseline is almost crossing the 50. Once that happen, we will look for a long opportunity because that's a sign that there's a high probability that the uptrend will continue. But again, we will not immediately jump into trade until this price will go closer into the new baseline, and our 1 hour time frame will also tell us to get in by consulting the indicator, and if it confirms that we now have a good entry trigger. So I think that's the review for the 26 or 20 26 pair that I trade on a daily basis. And yeah, I hope you guys you find value and you learn how I trade in this global uh, in my global trading room. So the same. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Thank you very much and have a good day.